This is my 1972 CL350 K4 scrambler, purchased in this condition in January 2019 with the intention of doing a Brat style conversion. I've spent years probably watching other guys on YouTube, getting masses of inspiration. I've been subscribing to Built magazine as well for a year and thought, well, it's time that I took the plunge. Bought the best bike I could and got stuck in. I didn't really want to do a restoration, but this is a 47-year-old bike, so once I'd taken everything apart, it did end up being a reasonable amount of restoration, but everything has been done in my shed. So the subsequent videos are taken in August of this year after I've been riding it for a couple of months. Hope you enjoy. So this is my 1972 Honda CL350 K4. It's undergone a 4-month rebuild, so it was part restoration, part modification really to what you see here. So maybe we just have a wander around the bike and I can tell you what I've done. So the first thing was to cut the back end off and put in a tail loop. I've hand fabricated in carbon fibre rear mud guard and 3D printed quite a lot of parts on this bike actually. The rear carrier for the indicators sits nicely under there, maybe you can see that. That was designed and 3D printed. So I fitted new shocks. It was quite hard to get what I wanted, so I had to send for these from Komamoto in the States, and they are an inch longer, so I wanted something that jacked the back up a little bit more because I was running out of ground clearance really. I like the side mounted look of the license plate, so we've made a little bracket and mounted that just off, trying to tuck it in as close as I can without being any risk of it moving and going in the spokes, which would be so the exhausts that came with this were well, they're very rare, and but there were holes in them. They weren't very good, and they're too big. It wasn't the look I wanted. I wanted something shorter, so basically chopped the silencers off and then bought these shorter ones, and just welded on a bracket tucked behind there, so it makes it all quite neat. The downpipes themselves, they've got no other fixing, they're just fixed at the front and then held by the silencers, and it's all pretty secure really. Although this is a scrambler, it's a Bob Brat look really I was going for, so I wanted a little mud guard. I didn't want a flat tracker with no mud guard, so although this is just a token gesture, it's more a visual thing. So these were the brackets are 3D printed and then skinned in carbon fibre, and then the mud guard is hand fabricated carbon fibre. That's one of the most challenging things was to replace the handlebars. Easy job in itself, but all Honda, certainly old Hondas, have the cables routed through the bars, so had to originally pull out the ones from the original bars without stripping all the cabling, and drilled in the positions of the new ones and threaded them through, pulling them through with wires. That was a bit of a challenge, but yeah, it makes it quite a neat look. And so the bars and the lamps, I think the bars are slightly wider than the original ones that are on there, not quite as high. The clamps, maybe throw the bars up a little bit higher. The original clocks were in excellent condition, so I've just basically refurbed the outer shrouds, because luckily all the inlays were in fantastic condition for a 47-year-old bike, and I've nothing to believe this is not original with 18,000 miles on the clock. Seems to all stack up. considering the original condition of the bike, which was very good. So the bar end mirrors are just simple, again, cheap finds on eBay, but even if I want to spend more money, I just wanted something that's quite small, but actually they do the job very well. I've got good visibility behind. I bought, and originally I didn't do anything to it other than put some mounting brackets and holes underneath to fix it to the frame, but I wasn't happy with the way it sat. It didn't really sit the frame correctly, so I took it all apart, and then I did what a few of the guys have shown me on YouTube, is to wrap the whole back end basically in cling film, and they make a glass fibre underpan or seat pan, and so it well, that was quite an easy process really, and just Dremel it out, and then the hardest thing was selecting the correct, or some seat foam. So yeah, without having samples, everything you need to buy online, so I went with a medium density foam. In hindsight, for this particular manufacturer, I should have gone high density. The first layer of foam I used was something else I'd seen on one of the, I think it was the guy in Australia, Cafe Racer Garage, and he'd used a yoga mat, so I put that down as the first layer of yoga mat. I think because I can definitely feel a difference. If I'd just gone with a medium density foam, I think your backside would bottom out on the hard seat pan, and I'd probably end up with a cracked spine after, well, certainly on these British roads. Anyway, I'm pleased with it. I managed to use the original seat so what cover. I didn't want was a gap at the front. So by obviously making the seat pan, you can fit it exactly, and it I really wanted to go something, the overall look that looked like something that would come out of the factory. Clearly in 1972 Honda would not have built a bike like this, and they probably wouldn't now, but yeah, I just small touches like that, and there's a great deal of effort to remake the seat, but just to close up a gap and make it sit like that. But the other debate I had was whether to powder coat the wheels, which is a cheap fix, but I didn't want all black hubs, spokes and rims. I mean, the chrome was in pretty good condition on these rims, so it seems crazy to go to that expense, and I wanted to use as much original as possible. Yeah, otherwise it's just, the costs just get out of control. Anyway, I'm happy with that. It's obviously something that could be changed later on, but as I've lived with the bike for the last few months and riding it, I really like it. Painting was all done in my shed. Just set up a little spray booth, if you can call it that, with bits of cardboard and an extractor fan, and all done with rattle cans. I found a company on eBay, a professional paint supplier, and they produce some decent paints in a rattle can, and that's what I did, and it's got a 2K clear coat on the top. I've never used the 2K clear coat before, but I have to say I'm super impressed with it. Get a fantastic finish, and I haven't tried spilling any petrol on it, but it certainly feels far more durable than just your standard clear coat. So it was worth the investment. But the thing is, obviously you've got to do all the clear coat at once, because it goes off after about 12 hours in the can, so it's got a very short shelf life. So we'll try and start this baby up. It has got electric start, but I like to use the Kickstarter. So though we can start this on the electric starter, I'm filming this one-handed, so we'll just have a go. Cheating wise, basically. The next video was made after the first shakedown run, so it's not had the final paint. A few changes are made since then, but it just gives you an idea of the bike being ridden. I will hopefully, before the summer's out, get a final video of me riding it with it completed.